introduction. If you're an optometrist, an ophthalmologist, a dispensing optician, anybody that works in optics, a manager, you are going to want to listen to this interview, because I only really bring people on this interview that are unique, that are superstars, that are successful in our industry for whatever reason. And I am joined by an amazing guest today. You're in for a treat. She is an optometrist. She owns a practice. She's a TED Talk speaker. And we're going to uncover all the things about pretty Basra. Good morning.
Morning, Gary. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm excited about the next half an hour, 45 minutes. I'm really excited. If my introduction doesn't do it justice, and whenever I'm interviewing, I try and understand the layers of you. So can we
Mhm.
go back a little and
Yeah,
go
of course.
back to how you got into optics?
Oh, that's going way back. That's going really, really way back. That's going back to when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And I'll keep it short because we've only got a little sort of short amount of time. I've always loved eyes, been fascinated with eyes from such a young age, from eye colours to how I'm like, just fascination with the colour of eyes. And then that actually, back in the day when kids used to actually watch TV and like watch the adverts and stuff, and not scroll through, there used to be this advert that used to come up, which was for sight savers. And it used to be really emotive. It used to be a really emotive advert. And it just, even at such a young age, it just made me feel something about eyes and vision. And then that always sat in my head. And my dad always used to say to me, I'd love for you to help people with their eyes. And I used to think
What does
like
your dad do?
my dad is entrepreneur, not like immigrant to the country,
Wow.
no educational background, but built multiple businesses. So completely
This is
unrelated.
helping me shape you. That makes you. That's the foundations to you. And
Yeah.
optometrist, if you're listening to this, you're pre-reg and you're thinking, I want to be like this. The answer, if you go for an interview and they say, well, why are you an optometrist? That's the answer, right? I don't want to hear because I couldn't get into pharmacy. That's not an answer.
Yes.
So I make you laugh. It's a true story. Like, how
It's
many
true.
optoms do I interview and they say, "Oh, because I couldn't get into pharmacy"? Don't say
Pharmacy,
it.
yeah.
Just keep that inside.
Just yeah. So yeah, started. So my interest in eyes started from there, and
Wow.
then I went to obviously I went to school. I'm not very we're not very academic. You struggle at school a lot. I happened to change schools when
I
I was
got a
like eight,
feeling you're
nine.
going to be very honest today. That's a really. I struggled at
Yeah,
school. I wasn't inspired there.
yeah.
I appreciate that because people watching or listening, also, it's okay not to like school. It's fine.
Yeah, and like it wasn't that I didn't like school, Gary. It was like I didn't get it, and maths was a really, really weak, and it still is a
Wow.
very weak subject for
Wow.
me, which is ironic because what I do every day involves numbers.
Mm.
But you figure it out, you figure a way around it. And so I wasn't academically brilliant. I went to a private school, so I was sort of bottom of the pile in terms of academia and intelligence, which is absolutely fine. Like I'm okay with that. Um,
Look at you
and when it
now.
changed, I'm still not academically brilliant, but you know, we'll go with it. And when I changed school, the environment changed in terms of where I was sitting in the classroom, and the classrooms were smaller. And then I started to realise it was very odd because only 8, 9 years old. I started to realise that the board looks blurred, and I think over the years that I've, like I say, I lost sort of testing children, and that's one of the reasons because of what I've sort of went through as a child, which I think you usually find with optometrists that or opticians that there's something that's happened in their childhood that's made this sort of their
Mm.
career choice. And I sort of thought, well, why is that? Why is it so blurred? So I moved to the front of the class and I sort of sat there squinting. I was thinking, I still can't see it. So I spoke to my parents and I said, like, could I get an eye test done? And my parents were, like I say, immigrants to the country. My mom was educated from India. My dad did have some level of education here, but they were busy, busy people. They were trying to build a life for us, and all their concerns were to us to pay the school fees. Anything extra than that was just like, just shut up, sit down, basically. So me saying to them, "Can I go for an eye test?" They were like, because they didn't wear glasses, so they've got perfect vision, and so they couldn't relate to what I was saying, and I think they thought it was attention seeking. And they used to have a shop in the town centre, in Wolverhampton town centre. And I used to go there after school, and then we were allowed to go to like the corner shop to go and get a sweet or whatever. So then one day I decided, like, I'm going to say to my mum, I'm going to go to the corner shop that way. And there was the opticians there, and I went into the opticians by
Good
myself.
for you.
I know. I went in and I begged them, Gary, I stood there like this and I said, please, 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 I really need an eye test. And they were saying, we can't do it because you haven't got a parent or guardian with you and you're under 16. So I had this negotiation with them at the age of 8, and I was like, my mum's shop is just there. You can see her. If you watch me take the gospel to her and she signs it, will you do it?
That's so
Um,
much initiative.
I know, but like, and I don't even know why I did. Like, I don't know. Like, it was
And
just
then what
something
happened?
that
What was your
was
refraction?
-2, -2, and that it changed my world. Like,
Let's
it
see.
absolutely
So
changed my world.
if anyone is watching this and they understand controlling myopia, if you're -2 at 8, you're
Mm.
probably as an adult going to be a -7. Am I about right?
Well, -575. So,
So it breaks my heart that when I go into practice and I see a child 5, 6 years old that's a -1, and the optometrist says we'll wait and see. Mark my words, those parents will be able to sue you in times to go. That's not science anymore. So we can do things about this. I get on my soapbox
yeah,
there.
yeah,
It frustrates me.
yeah. Well, Gary, I just about got to get an eye test for my parents. They weren't going to go buy my
Wow.
control lenses for me.
So you're the Mr. -2. You're super cute. You're wearing your glasses. You fast forward to when you decide to do optometry and you're at uni. Where did you do your pre-reg?
To be fair, I'd probably go back a bit from that. I didn't
Okay.
get into optometry, and because that's always what I wanted to do. I had to resit my A levels twice,
Wow.
and then that was one of the toughest years of my couple of years of my life, trying to get in to optometry, but not just anywhere. I wanted to go to Aston.
You've made the
So
hairs on the back of my neck stand up because
yeah,
numbers didn't come well to me. I'm a people person. Dispensing optics, it could be like optometry. You're only allowed to fail 3 times. I don't know if
yeah,
that's the case. So I'd failed twice on my final year. It was,
right.
it was like I had to get on the grind. Those ray diagrams, that quadratic equations. I was like, ah. So I know we've got a lot in common there.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it was just get those couple of years before getting into optometry and what would the internal work that I did, the mind work, how I basically built myself in those 2 years through through a really, really shit time. That's the only way I can describe it. All my friends were going to uni.
Wow.
They're all living their dream, and I'm there like, yeah, still can't pass my A levels, guys. That's just me. And yeah, fast forward, I went to Aston,
I
and
hope your
once I got
parents watch this one day, and you should be so proud of your daughter. I'm sure you are. That is so much resilience and internal work that you had to
yeah,
do to get there. And then,
well,
like, because I did so much work to be a DO,
mm,
I hold it with such pressure. Like, it's so
yeah, yeah,
precious to me
it
because we
is,
work
yeah.
bloody hard to get it.
100%. And to be fair, credit to my parents, they are the reason that I am resilient. They had those conversations with me. They gave me those choices, said, what do you want to do?
Wow.
You failed your A levels. I didn't just fail, Gary. I proper failed. Like, I got a U. I didn't just get like a C
The
or something.
scale of there to there is what's coming through to me is you're unstoppable.
Yeah,
And
I would say that. Yeah.
unstoppable, and when you're faced with an unstoppable business person, they're not gonna stop. Like, I feel sorry for optical practices around you because you're not gonna stop. You're creative, you're smart, you're resilient, you care about different things. Wow, that puts you in the 1%, right? So that's so I'm glad we went back because we have to understand the person. And I'm so
Yeah,
excited that you're bringing aesthetics into optometry. This is an area I certainly want to talk about today because that's what makes you super different.
yeah,
I certainly want to talk about your TED Talks. I want to talk about the things that really get you excited as a practice owner.
yeah.
And I don't know if you're happy to explore that.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I'm very honest. I'm very authentic.
You are.
So I'm quite transparent. So I'm happy to sort of, if anything helps anybody, then why not?
And I think you deserve recognition. Coming on a podcast is not, I don't just ask anybody. I
Mm.
ask legends, people that are done something unusual or extra special. So you
Yeah,
deserve the recognition in our industry. I hope this is watched and say,
thank you.
people that don't know you, please follow on LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is brilliant. Maybe
Thank
we
you.
could talk about
Thank
that.
you.
We're running out of time. Let's
We've
start.
got so
Let's
much to talk
start
about,
with
Gary.
how you opened a practice. That's a good place. So you're an
Okay.
optometrist. You work for others. You're like, I'm going to do this better. I'm going to do this my way. And what was your inspiration to go it alone? Because that jump is also gigantic. You're working for
Yeah.
somebody to, I'm going to do this by myself. Can we look at that?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm going to just like go the opposite to what you've just said.
That's
I
okay.
never wanted to open a practice. I never wanted to have my own business. So I'm
Wow.
quite odd, I suppose, in all aspects of what I've done. I was very clinically focused. I'd always worked in hospitals. I'd trained in hospitals, and my jobs after
Did you
my PhD
specialize
were
in anything in particular?
yeah, paediatrics. So then I did a PhD in paediatric visual screening.
Oh,
So I was
what did you
very
write your dissertation? What was the
My
final?
dissertation was in that university. My dissertation was on myopia, obviously because of um, and sort of myopic crescents and things. And then yes, so then after I worked at Leicester Royal, worked at Queen's Medical, worked at Chesterfield Royal, and then I went to Bradford University after I got married and did a PhD. And then I planned to get pregnant, and luckily I got pregnant as I wanted to in terms of my plan. I'm very much a goal setting person. I very much believe in goal setting. And then as I was pregnant at the time,
How
I
old are
was
you
going,
around now?
I'm 29. I wanted to have my first child before I was 30.
Just
So I'm
before
very
30.
much like,
Okay.
yeah, so I was like very much like this has to happen. And that's just the way I am. Like if I
What do you think your colleagues would say about you from that era, from the hospital setting? You're very clinical. What do you think how they would describe you?
Fun, like fun, very passionate, very geeky. And I'm still the same. I love anything to do with eyes. Like if anybody buys me a gift,
And your patients, the children. I never
yeah.
really connected with children until I was a parent
Oh,
myself.
really? Okay.
I'm a child, like, but I
Yeah,
still really now connect. Like, give that kid a sticker. Like,
yeah,
if you own a practice and you got a child and you want to connect with them, and there are no stickers, just get a plain sticker. Like, it doesn't matter. Design it together. I go into practice. I see children that are bored. I just give them a plain piece of paper and a pencil. You've got the equipment to keep them occupied. I think we
yeah,
underserve children. And amblyopia, don't get me started on that. Unnecessary.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very true. I usually have a basket in my room of just like little bits and bobs that I just got from the pound shop, and that's really handy just to give to them, and then they just sort of crack on with that. Because, like you say, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It seems to be something they can fiddle with. So yeah, so that was sort of took me. So I went through quite a bad patch in my personal life whilst I was pregnant, and I think that's what's made me make this really random shotgun decision to buy a practice. So as you do, as you do.
Jumping.
Because I was pregnant and I was ending my PhD, I knew I wanted to stay local now because I was going to have a baby. So I saw an advert in Optometry Today for a locum in my local area, and I was like, great, applied for that, went in for the interview, and somehow the interview turned into join my practice. So that was really like
I
was
love
not
that.
prepared for that. Was
I
not
love it.
prepared for that.
Why not?
um,
Opportunity was there. You weren't opportunistic. You were just like, I'm
uh,
just coming for an interview. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what I've
So
been like in that first year, you would have bought an existing practice, which is smart. If you start from scratch, you need skills other than clinical. You need
yeah,
marketing skills. Your husband, your partner, I've met him. He's such a lovely man. He happens to be really, really good at marketing. So
Yeah.
you two are now like you together. You got marketing, you got the clinical skills, you got everything you need. Did you have managerial skills at that time?
To be fair, Gary, like the first, we know nothing prepared us for business. And it was unfortunately, I think a lot of mistakes that see practice owners making, optometrists making, are that you think because you're a clinician, you can run a practice.
Not at all. Yeah.
And I learned the hard way because it was only me. Did I have managerial skills? No. Had I been brought up in an environment where I was surrounded by business and I was watching my parents manage? Yes.
But there's
Had I
different
picked up?
types of business. I think that they paint business as one type. You've got business to business, business to consumer. You've got one man band. You've got growth of 100 staff. Business isn't all the same. And I think that
No.
and running a practice, really, you need, if it's going to go to $250,000 or 300, 500,000, you need to employ people. If they don't like what they do, if they're not very motivated, it will damage your business. So
So,
motivating, keeping them engaged is so important. There was a stat that it said that 40% of your patients leave because they don't like your staff.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
And I learned that the really, really hard way. Like people management, even to date, is one of the hardest things that I've ever done.
Can I share with you
Um,
my little tip?
yeah, of course.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah, yeah.
No charge. So I say to my member of staff annually, and then we review it quarterly every 90 days. I say, what does 100% look like? So
Yeah.
to me, 100% is you answer the phone after 3 rings. Give me an example of what 100% looks like to you with your staff.
Um, I would say just going and opening the door for the patient,
Oh,
like as they're
I
leaving.
love
So
that,
that's
right? So there's
yeah,
100%. I love that.
yeah,
It's so simple and not dumb, right? So we
yeah.
give those two examples, and you might have like 40 examples by the end of the PDR. So then you say, well, that's great, and that's where you think you want to be, and that's where I think you should be. And what support can I do to train you? Do you want me to show you how to open the door? That's condescending. You don't need to do that. Or how to answer the phone. And,
Yeah,
and, and try and understand why they're not answering the phone after 3. Try and
yeah.
understand why they're not opening the door. Because that is a problem. And then you say, and this is important, what incentive would you like if I see you opening the door for every single person? What incentive would you like if you start answering the phone? And they might
Mm,
say, well, I'd like a pay rise. Sometimes they say, I just want 1 day extra holiday. Be creative with it. Then here's the tough thing. You're ready for the tough thing. And it
go on then.
sometimes brings on tears. You say, if after 3 months you're not improving to 100%, what should I do about it as the
Hmm.
owner?
Hmm.
And they will tell you what you should do. And they
Yeah, yeah,
generally just leave
yeah,
without.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I have this system. Anyone that's ever worked for me, I have this mantra. I say, I'm going to be the best boss you've ever had.
That's great. That's lovely. Yeah.
It's a fair relationship between the two.
Yeah, and it's taken time. Like obviously, I was a child. When I sort of took over the practice, and I've learned the hard way in terms of sort of what skills I needed in terms of HR, people management, marketing, business. Because we were just riding the wave when we first took over of the goodwill of the previous owner, and everything went to pot in 27, 2 years later. And that's when I had to figure out how do you run a business.
What
So yeah,
support did
it's
you
been
get?
to
Did you join mastermind groups, audios,
nothing,
pure self taught?
nothing, just everything. I didn't
Wow.
have time to, Gary, like I had a newborn. I had no family around me. It was a really, really bad time in my life
Wow.
where I had like nervous breakdowns. A lot was going on without going into detail. So mentally, like I was broken, but then I had a loan to pay, I had bills to pay, I had a mortgage to pay. So there was no, you just were in
You're
fight
so
mode.
amazing.
Just in
You're
fight
even
mode.
more amazing than I realized.
Mm.
We hardly know each other,
No,
and I connected. I just thought you're wonderful. What a
thank you.
wonderful human being. I think you're
You've got
even.
such a great energy as well, Gary. Like contagious energy.
Oh my God, you're about 100 times better than I thought you were. Like in terms of
I'm
where
a little
I
bit
wasn't
offended, but okay.
expecting. You're amazing. Like
Thank you.
what my friend Sharon Flora has a similar story, and you're friends, right? You two know each other.
No, I don't really know. No,
You need to
sorry.
know this girl. Like you have a very similar story, and these stories go untold. And I think it's important for if someone does have mental health issues, someone doesn't have the support, you just had the baby. You're not alone. There's other people that have got
Yeah,
through that, and I think that really helps. It really helps. So wow,
yeah.
the interview stopped dead now. I'm so lucky to have spoken to you about this.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how
Thank you
did
for
we get
sharing
through?
it.
How did we get through that?
God knows, pure like determination, pure like I said earlier on. If I said I'm going to do something, I will move mountains to get it done. And like I had no choice. I'd secured my parents' house on the loan
Wow,
to buy the practice.
wow.
So it wasn't like, well, if it doesn't work, I'll just leave it. I'll just go somewhere else. Like my parents would lose their home if I didn't make this work. So there's no bigger pressure than like leaving your parents homeless, basically. So yeah,
Wow.
and I believe everything needs to happen, and everything happens for a reason. And that was a pivotal point in my life, in my career, in business. And it took a good couple of years of like learning, understanding, because you can't overturn a business like overnight. You can't overhaul a business, sorry, overnight. It takes time, building up local reputation, building a national reputation, building that trust, that authority, all that connection with your patients,
Culture,
connection with your
corporate
staff,
culture, opening the
culture.
door. You got to tell people over and over and over
Yeah,
and over again and catch
that's
them when they
it.
do it right and then
Yeah,
praise them and then
yeah.
reprimand them if they don't. You think something as simple as opening the door, you need everybody to do it because if two people do it and three
The
don't,
other
no,
stone.
it
Yeah,
becomes a non thing. So in my practice, we had the 10 customer service commandments,
yeah.
optical commandments, and opening the door was one of them, just so you know.
Okay.
So we would read this thing every single day, the 10 commandments, change the music depending on who's in here. When you're explaining the reading chart, what does M4 mean? What does N8 mean? What does N10 mean? Because big chains don't have time to do that business.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
would just repeat to the point that we would start saying them without even looking at them. Just boom. People knew.
Because you just know it's repetition, isn't it? Repetition.
People knew.
And I think finding your people and in all aspects, your team, your patients, your cheerleaders, that was a big learning curve for me in business. And then you come through the other side, but then obviously then lockdown happens and all of that. But then I truly 100% believe in failing. I think
Yeah.
failure is the biggest teacher in life. And I've failed as you like this is a snippet of my failures that I've just shared now. I'm very open to talk about my failures. I celebrate my failures because
Mm.
I would not be doing what I do today if I didn't fail all of those times. And that mindset has been given to me from my parents because I think it is an immigrant mindset that you've got no choice. You fail, you learn, you move forward.
Well,
Um,
you
yeah.
say that I'm addicted to self development. I
Mhm.
want to be 1% better than I was yesterday. And
Yeah.
I heard something quite unusual. I heard from somebody very respected in business that you do not want a member of staff that makes the same mistake over and over again. That's
Mhm.
standard, right?
Yeah.
He also said you do not want a member of staff that never makes a mistake
Exactly. Because
because
they'll never
that
grow.
person isn't
Never grow.
taking enough risks. They're not
Exactly.
doing enough. And that was
They're
wow.
safe. They're trying to like they're boxing themselves in. And there's so much to say about failure, and that's for a different topic, like day altogether. But in terms of the neuroscience of failure, that's fascinating in itself. So yeah, so that still brings me up to 2020, and then I realized in 2020 that I can't just rely on like an optical income. Obviously, all options had to shut down in lockdown, and I didn't have money to feed my children because I wasn't allowed to be furloughed. And like everything just stopped. And I was like, well, what's my backup? Like, how do I what's my backup? If this ever happens again, what is my backup? And from 2017, I'd always looked into aesthetics, like here and there, dipped in and out of it, but I always got, no, you can't do it, you're an optician, no, you can't. So when I'm talking, just to clarify, when I'm talking about aesthetics, I'm not talking about dry eye, what is known as aesthetics in the optical industry at the moment. I'm talking about medical aesthetics, I'm talking about injectables, I'm talking about Botox, fillers, skin boosters, skin tag removal, like medical aesthetics. So that's only for regulated healthcare professionals. But then for me, I'm like, but I'm a regulated healthcare
Yes,
professional, so
you
why
are.
can't I do it?
Yes, you
So why
are.
can't I do it? So
And did you
2017,
learn?
honestly,
Did you learn? Do you know how to do a facial?
yeah, I do it all. So
Wow, you can take tags off.
yeah, so skin tags, Botox,
You can
fillers,
do that. You can do it.
I'm trained. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
coming up
trained
for a
to do it.
facial.
Come down. So I've been doing so yeah. So I've been trying to find somewhere that would train me, and I used to just get no. You're not a doctor, you're not a pharmacist, you're not a dentist. We can't train you. But I thought surely there's got to be somebody because I wanted to be trained by a medical practitioner.
Hmm.
So I didn't want to be trained by a beautician. With no disrespect to beauticians, but I wanted
Yeah,
the theory. I
yeah.
wanted to understand the face in more
You're
detail.
a
So
PhD student, for God's sakes. You want to know
yeah, so
behind.
I want
Yeah,
to know exactly.
yeah.
I want
You
to
want
know
to
because if
know.
I want to know.
You,
So
your level of thinking. You can. I can say this to you, but you can't. Your
yeah,
level of thinking is higher than most.
okay,
And you know
yeah,
what? It's not PC to say that,
hmm,
but you deserve that because you've done a
thank you.
PhD. Your
Yeah,
level of thinking is higher,
hmm,
and it's a shame when we can't just admit that. You're
yeah,
either at kindergarten or you're at university. Your level of thinking is different, and
yeah.
that should be celebrated. So if you're watching this again, just because you don't have a degree, it doesn't matter. You can raise your level of thinking without
Of
that
course
piece
you
of
can. Of
paper. Just
course
think
you can.
higher. Like you
Exactly.
decided, I'm not going to go with a beautician. I'm going to go with a practitioner that has more qualifications, and that was your mentor, which then meant you were better. Like I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah. So I spent years trying to find somebody. I'd sort of dip in and out of it because then I had like two more babies from in
So you
that
got
period.
three now. You got
Yeah,
three. All right,
yeah. I've
three.
got three
What are their
boys. I had
ages today?
11, 8, and 6. So
Cute.
I had them all whilst taking over the business. So I didn't have much maternity.
No,
Maybe about
no
6 weeks.
grandparents. No like
Not
uncles,
locums, no.
aunties. Nothing.
No, it's just me and my husband. And my husband used to work in Leeds. So it was just me really sort of doing drop off, pick up, testing, running everything.
Wow.
So yeah, so like I say, I'd sort of dipped in and out of trying to find somebody that sort of would train me. And eventually after lockdown, I just thought, I don't care. I need to find somebody to train me because I need to I need another income source because I cannot be in this position ever again in my life. So I found three ladies who were nurses or dental therapists. They were very respected in their field. I spent a lot of money, Gary, a lot of money. And I think that's what really really stresses me out about people that own optical practices at the moment is they don't want to invest in knowledge upgrades. They don't want to invest in
But
skill
they
upgrades.
will do it for something that doesn't help them with their business
Yeah,
necessarily. They will spend 90,000 on lower lid tightening, and they're going to buy that. They're going to learn that, and it will change everything. It won't. I tell you that
it
now.
won't.
It will not.
It won't. It won't.
You need a
And
holistic approach, like we, as clinicians, we
yeah.
need a holistic approach. If someone's smoking and we're worried that their vision, they're going to get macular degeneration. Will they still get it if they wear transitions?
Yeah,
Yes, they will.
yeah,
They're going to give
yeah,
up
exactly.
smoking.
Okay, yeah, that's it. So I think people have to understand, not just in optical practice, just in business, you've got to invest in the right things.
And
And
your
sometimes you don't,
mindset's different. Your mindset is open. A
yeah,
lot of optometrists, practice owners, and
it's
DOs,
closed,
so closed.
closed,
It won't work.
closed.
It's not for me. I was the first optician in the world to have Facebook, as recognized by
Mm,
Meta. We
mm,
were the first optician to have Meta glass. I just saw it. Like I've
yeah,
had so many firsts. You've had firsts because
yeah,
we connect the dots. We're open-minded,
yeah.
not afraid of failing.
Because like you say, what I always say, what's the worst that can happen? You
Yeah,
try it, it
exactly.
doesn't work, but you've gained a skill set, you've gained that knowledge, you've
You're
gained
so
that
brave.
experience.
You're so
Um,
brave. You're so
Thank you.
amazing. You're
It
so
was it
brave.
was
Will you
It
talk
was
me
really
through? Because
scary.
we're running out of time, and I could talk to
Yeah,
you
yeah,
for another hour.
it's fine.
What could you go through your patient journey, right from picking up the phone to the time that they leave, and then how do we cross refer? So someone's sitting at the chair, you see a little tag on their eyelid, or are you like to the point where your skin, you could improve your skin?
No,
How's it work? Tell me the whole journey.
no. So, I mean, in terms of, do you mean for the aesthetic side?
No, the patient journey, the patient.
Yeah. So
So if you're watching this and you happen to not be an optometrist or anybody, and you just want an eye test, where is your practice?
in Doncaster,
Whereabouts exactly?
in the town centre, a private place.
Oh my God, if you're in Doncaster and you need an eye exam, please go. Like this is a really, you're going to get very well looked after as like a member of the family. I just know that.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that you're going to be looked after really well. So, what's the patient journey? How's it work? You
Yeah,
phone
so
up?
we're locked. Yeah, you phone up, book in. We're sort of a locked door policy. So we're all booked appointments. Patient will come in, they're checked in, they're taken to pre-screening as they do are most places.
What's in your pre-screening room?
OCT, visual fields, fundus. So they'll be offered all of
Dr.
that. We
Noon
have,
yet? Do you know about Dr. Noon?
I was just about to say we have
Oof.
got AI heart eye as well, but we haven't sort of started to
Amazing.
push that out fully yet.
If you don't know what that is, check it out. It's
Check it out. Yeah,
GPs are
it's
going
really
to
good.
start referring us, not the other way round. It's a
Yeah,
really, if you know how to market that.
yeah.
Okay, so you've
So
done your pre-screening, everything's good.
pre-screening, yeah.
Your dry eye, right? Do you do dry eye a little bit?
Do a little bit of dry eye. So that's all introduced in the pre-screening area via a questionnaire to use as a questionnaire. Then we then make them aware of our services. So dry
I
eye.
go outside. Do I get a coffee?
Yeah, so not we get a coffee on. So we're a multi-floor practice. So the bottom floor is welcoming collections and eye tests. The second floor is a whole dispensing floor. So when they sit down upstairs, they will
Oh,
have they've got a
wow.
menu to choose from. And then upstairs, we've also got the aesthetic clinic, which is separate. It's a separate business, skin medicine, and then we've also got a lab on the next floor up. So it's like I say, it's multi-floor.
A lab of
Um,
what? An optical lab or a
yeah,
cosmetic
yeah.
lab?
So we glaze on site. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm in heaven. I
Is
want to
that just
work
too
there.
much, Gary? It's too much, isn't
No, but it's
it?
just my dream. Like that
Yeah,
is a dream practice to work for. How many
yeah.
staff have you got?
5.
Dream practice. So I've had my pre-screening. I'm being very well looked after. I go into the testing room. How long am I getting with my optometrist?
20, 25 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So how much does that cost me? That experience?
So NHS obviously funded. It depends. We do two-tier tests. So we do either standard eye
Very
exam
good.
at 47 or we do premium at 87.
I
But then
think
we are
that's
going
fair.
to look at adding in the AI heart eye as well as to add it on sort of a
Oh,
third tier,
so
like a
good. So
wellness
I've
one.
come out and
A handover.
my prescriptions changed
Yeah. So
significantly. But I just
yeah.
want something cool. I want to wear a nice frame. So I come out and then what happens?
Yeah, so I'll hand over to one of the girls. Like I will always match up the patient with the right personality in terms of the team. So it won't just be whoever's available. It will be that I know that that person's going to gel with that person because for me it's about connection.
Correct.
And then they will be escorted upstairs, and then the girls have got as much time as they want. They can spend 50 minutes with them. They can spend 2 hours with them. I don't care. As long as my ethos is and my values are for the practice, as long as they feel that they are special whilst they are in our space, I'm not bothered what you do with them. I just want them to feel like I want them to feel appreciated because we are so lucky that they've chosen us to spend their money with. So why shouldn't they be treated like a celebrity, you know? So yeah, so that's what we would do.
And have you
And
got a patient mix that's all women, 90-10 men? Are we
no,
talking about
it's
some
really
men are
varied.
comfortable in there?
Yeah, it's really varied. We've got a really good broad spread, Gary, of sort of
Because
ages,
Gen
genders,
Gen Z, Gen X, these guys
everything.
really care about looking after themselves. I speak to lots and lots of practices that are missing that age group, 30 and
Mm,
below. You really cracked it here because the 30 below can get both done.
yeah.
You can get an hour's service if you need it, if you're in desperate need. hardly any practices have an in-house lab. Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense to me. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you're just like a sister from an. We share the same DNA. I can't believe it. Like what you've got there is so special. Do
Thank
I
you.
book it? So do I book in a week's time? Am I going to get told? How's this
Yeah, so
collection?
so in terms of like glasses collection and things, we'll inform them. We've got book clinics for that, and then they'll have the collection process where everything's given to them
Uh,
on a gold tray and all that jazz. Yeah.
Everything can be better, right? Everything can be perfected. But what you've got there is a beautiful experience. Really wonderful. I love
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Absolutely love it. And the fact that you've got all those layers, I think you're a genius.
Thank you.
And I think it would be hard to copy what
Hmm.
you've done here because most of the industry don't get it.
I don't
If
get
you're
it.
watching this and like, oh, that wouldn't work for me, then that's your problem, not
That's
ours.
this thing. That's a mindset issue. Yeah.
That's right. So that I hope that you've watched this and you feel inspired and energized and thinking, "Wow, I want to practice like that," or "I want something similar," or we want to go. So you need to follow on LinkedIn for sure. But it's worth because we're coming into the last moments of this interview. Just giving some tips to young optometrists or practice owners that are struggling with their mental health. It's a big thing. If we can help just even that much to that type of person, if they're watching, what advice would you give? Because you've gone through the storm.
Oh yeah, and that's just the surface layer that I've just told you. There's so much more. So my biggest thing is that before you were anything else, you were a person. Before you were an optician, before you were optometrist, before you were a dentist, before you were a doctor, you were a person, and you still are now. And you should invest in you as a person for everything else to grow. Because if you're not there, if your cup is not full, then everything that you output is just going to be a reflection of that.
It's hard
And
though while you're in that storm to
mm,
think about. For me, it starts with because my mum was a manic depressive, so is my sister bipolar, and it even starts with the time you get up. If you're getting
yeah,
up later and later, you can't even dress yourself, you can't make decisions. It's almost too late. There's triggers. You know yourself. There's triggers that tell you I'm getting unwell. I
yeah,
need to step away. I need to do less. And if you're doing things that you love, all right, and you're energized, you feel taller.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I want everyone to feel 7 foot tall, 10 foot tall. If you're
yeah,
shrinking as a human being, grow. Be
yeah.
around amazing people.
And you're right, Gary. It's just, but only you can do that work, yourself. But at the same time, watch things like this, listen to stuff like this. It's like education, information. We are so privileged that it's everywhere. It's free, you can develop yourself. And it's
Mm.
for me, it's the biggest thing is having self-awareness to have those, like you say, when you're noticing, I feel like this is happening, check yourself and have like something in place where you can pull yourself up or have an accountability buddy that will say to you like you've got an agreement saying if I do this tell me, because like you said when you're in it you may not realize that I'm slipping into this dark hole, whereas if you've got that accountability person, whoever that might be, a friend, mom, dad, somebody at work, and you have that agreement, then at least then you're not feeling offended like why is she saying that to me, why is she saying that to me, because you've got that agreement. And only you can make yourself a better person. But you've got to be invested in yourself more than anything else, in my opinion.
And look, you lose hope when tomorrow is worse than today.
Yeah,
So how do
absolutely.
we make
Absolutely.
tomorrow a little bit better? Maybe just wake up a little bit sooner. Write a list of things you want to do in the next 20 hours. And just do
Yeah.
the hardest, toughest thing first. And tomorrow will be better. And it's like getting your heart broken as a teenager. It does at the
Yeah.
time the world is coming to an end. But we're not undermining medical mental health is a very different thing from just feeling down.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we're not
Absolutely.
dismissing anybody with mental health issues, but being around people in business, there's other people that have the same issues, and I just think you're incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Quite
Thank you.
likely one of the very best podcasts I've ever done, because you've really been so honest from the very beginning. And
Yeah.
I just wish that I was closer to you to come round for a coffee now and again. You're the
Well,
kind of
yeah.
person you want to just hang out for a coffee. Because when I see you 100% optical, we're busy. We're both like
Yeah.
people. Everyone's pulling us in one direction or
Yeah.
another, and breathing is so important. Like when you're with
So
somebody
important. Yeah.
and you're just, the breathing slows down and you're just
Yeah.
enjoying each other's company, and
Yeah.
it's so I don't have that experience with you. We're usually awards
It's just
like
like,
running
oh,
around.
yeah.
So I really hope that I can find you in a place that where our breathing slows down and we enjoy each other's company, and I look forward to meeting your kids.
Thank you.
You're just a wonderful human being, and I look forward
Thank
to the
you.
next 10 years. What you're gonna
Yeah.
do, how you're gonna change the industry. You're already changing it.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you.
How do
Thank
people
you so
find your
much.
How do people find your TED Talks? How do people find you? Are you comfortable with people connecting with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have my own website, so it's drprettybasra.com. My links are on there, but I'm very active on LinkedIn and also on Instagram. So yeah, and my TEDx is on YouTube. Again, if you just Google my name, Dr. Pretty Basra, it should come up. I also have my own podcast as well, which is the Women Money Business podcast, which I've been doing for over a year. So that's got some really good guests on there as well, if you're into women in business and stuff like that. So yeah.
And shamelessly, I believe, if I'm not incorrect, that you help practice owners to develop their practices. How do we
Yeah.
find out more information on that? And I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, so again, it's on my website. So I sort of do consultancy work for practices, and I have a mental fitness academy for people to develop the mental fitness. Like I say, I think that's so important when you are in business as well. But all that information is on my website.
Incredible. There is absolutely no conflict. I like helping independent practices, but just like a yoga teacher, my wife's a yoga teacher. She says you
Oh,
have to
she?
connect with your teacher, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if you've heard this today and you think, wow, I'd love Pretty to help me with my practice, please, by all means, I get in touch. I don't think you can go wrong. If you've
Thank you.
enjoyed
Thank
this
you.
episode, tell a friend in optics. If you've enjoyed this episode, maybe even drop Pretty a LinkedIn message. I'll let you close the episode with maybe something inspiring that can lift us in our day.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Gary, for having me on. Thank you for your energy and your passion for the profession. I think that's very unique in itself. And I think what I have to celebrate about you is that you are so passionate about bringing people together in the industry. And I think that is very unique because a lot of people are competition over collaboration, whereas I do feel your collaboration over competition, and
It's because
that
I'm
needs
an
to be
old guy.
celebrated.
I've done my
Yeah.
career now.
No,
Like,
no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what age you are. It's what you're exuding and what the energy you're putting out there. So thank you for that, firstly. And to sort of end the podcast, what I would like to say to people is that just with you saying when you want, well, how do you make tomorrow look better than today? Just pick one thing that you can appreciate. Just eat, and if it's the sound of your kids laughing,
mm.
oh, it's going to make me emotional. If it's like you look out the window and you can see the trees, you can see just those little things. Oh, I don't know why I do this.
I've got. I've got to
Um,
the level of Oprah Winfrey. Just so you know, I love Oprah because at the end of the interviews, everyone's crying. What? We got to Oprah. I'm crying as well. That
um,
life is beautiful. It's wonderful. I love you as a human being. Your connection's awesome. And wow, what an episode! We've ended with us both feeling absolutely connected with each other, and you. We don't even know who you are, but it's a ripple effect. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Gary.
That's a
Thank you.
wrap. That is.